Thanks very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Thank you, Flo.
All right, well, as we commemorate the Lily Mine tragedy, which is 7 years ago today that this tragedy happened, have there been, any changes, in the mining system and safety measures that have been put in place by many of the mining companies following what happened, in terms of before people are sent down these mine shafts? I mean, we can commemorate all we want, but if, there's no change to how things are done, then, what's the point?
Look, without a doubt, our mining industry has shown constant improvements every year on their safety. And that's been to the detriment of profitability. And sometimes when we have high profit margins, that's not too big a problem. But when commodity prices are very low and profit margins are razor thin, sometimes we're in losses. They did not slow down on spending more and more money, time, and effort on safety. And these results we just saw from the Minerals Council, the ex-Chamber of Mines, showed all-time low deaths in this country in mining. So if one looks at where deaths were 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and definitely 30, 40, 50 years ago, we made incredible progress, every bit as much of the progress that the West made. And that means UK, Germany, Canada, Australia, America. So Lily did not go unappreciated. It gave renewed emphasis on mining to make it safer and spend more money, and they've done both.
All right, well, we've got the Africa Mining Indaba set to begin tomorrow. I still want to stay on the issue of mining safety for now. How high is a priority or discussion point is the issue of, mine safety and the safety of miners at these sort of indabas? You're talking about profitability, and I would think that mine workers would be, essential and, the core of the business, the core of this profitability that you speak of. Surely that would then mean that mining safety should feature quite prominently in any discussions relating to mining. I mean, I understand there's going to be discussions around South Africa's energy crisis. The delegates will get some insight, of course, on investment opportunities, on mining trends and all sorts of things. But I really want to get to the crux of this issue, and that's mainly because we are commemorating this Lily Mine tragedy today. So I'd really like to hear what the big leaders, the big bosses, the people who sit with these profits say about the safety of mine workers.
Safety is paramount, Flo. Nobody wants to be involved in a mining company where safety is lax and somebody dies. Everybody's in trouble when somebody dies. Everybody's responsible. When you're a CEO, the worst call you can get in the day or night is someone's been hurt bad or even worse, killed. I came to this country in 1982. I was pretty impressed with the safety. I was so impressed, I was writing my former mine managers in university to say, gentlemen, if we promoted safety like this mine did, like the South Africans do, we would have one death in 100 years in America. And so that was in 82, and safety was the top issue. It's something that the mine managers and our bosses, shift bosses, team leaders talked the most about. Yes, production was a close second, because if you're not making money, safety is irrelevant because you're not going to have a mine. Then you'll have total safety. But it's left and right hand working at the same time. Make money, but you do it safely. If you can't make money safely, you close your section, you close the mine, you don't invest. So safety is a given. When an investor gives a mining company money, they expect that mining company to comply totally with the law, but they won't give them a cent. So it's a given. It's a default position. Yeah. It's not an extra or a nice to have.
Yeah. Let's talk about the spike in illegal mining, or perceived spike in illegal mining. One wonders if there's just more attention on the issue of illegal mining in South Africa at the moment. What's your view on how South Africa deals with this issue, not just with the illegal miners themselves, I mean, it's quite clear that there's, there's people at the top. There's people that they are essentially doing this for at the end of the day, and it seems as though we're concentrating really on the surface. Excuse the pun, but we really are concentrating on the surface when we really should be going underground and finding exactly who's at the bottom, at the top of this particular chain, I suppose, when it comes to the issue of illegal mining.
So you're bringing real good questions to the fore here. You're talking a lot about safety. Nothing is affecting safety more than the breakdown in electricity. Can you imagine mining underground 2 to 3 kilometers, 1 kilometer, and you don't have reliable electricity? Can you imagine mining down that deep and you don't know if the power is going to go out and the mine's going to flood or the ventilation fan will stop, you asphyxiate people. It's crazy. Electricity reliability should never be a question in mining. But unfortunately, the last 15 years, it's been the biggest worry. And now you talk about the illegal miners. Those illegal miners, unfortunately, are responsible for more deaths than our mining industry is responsible for. And that's something that didn't used to be out there. So this is where government has a big, big role to play. Not just passing thousands of pieces of legislation, but government's responsible for the unreliable electricity. Government's responsible for all these illegal miners and the breakdown in infrastructure. So government's got to do their part.
Yeah. So tomorrow we do then begin the Africa Mining Indaba. What are your expectations when it comes to this Indaba? I know we've been told that, you talk about the energy crisis, as you should. They've said that the South Africa's energy crisis will be very high up on the agenda. And I wonder if, there are solutions, given the fact that the energy crisis is reliant on another sector altogether. So what kind of discussions, conversations, what are you expecting to hear when it comes to this energy crisis that seems to be a no-end crisis, really?
There's 3 answers I can give you.
Yeah.
What would I like to hear? And what do I think I'm going to hear? And what do I hope I'm not going to hear?
Yeah.
First of all, we've heard the same mumble jumble from our minister and unfortunately from our president the last 4 or 5 years. So we can't hear the same. Whatever he says, we almost don't care if it's worse. We hope it's better. He mustn't say the same because it doesn't mean anything and it's treating everybody like Muppets. And people paid a lot of money to come down here. They're not dumb, poor people. They're industrious people with good connections that want to build mines. So I hope our president tells them something different. And if he could give them some concrete examples, I can give him lots what he could do. The first thing is give electricity production back to where it was before. Government can't manage 700 SOEs. It's got enough on its plate. And by trying to manage 700 SOEs, it does a poor job. It lets criminal elements get in there. It lets misallocation of resources get there. So there is so much the president could say. There's so much he could do. We just want him to say and do a couple little things. And the money that comes in, the investors that come in our mining industry, they'll do the rest. They can fix this in 12 to 18 months.
Yeah, you said what you hope not to hear. I don't think I got that. What did you say?
Yeah, I hope I don't just hear the same thing from our mining minister and our president that I've heard the last 5 Indabas.
All right.
We definitely don't want to hear promises. Just hear some facts and show us how those facts are actual events.
All right, Peter Major, thank you very much for speaking to us here on SABC News. He's the Director of Mining at Modern Capital Solutions. Many thanks to you.